Welcome back to the Harley Quinn podcast, everybody. It's me, Vanessa, with my fellow host Keenan and Mike. How are you guys doing? How you doing, Mike? You seem like you're doing great.
I'm doing better than the last 2 weeks and stuff. I'm looking forward to this month. A lot of good things happened this week. I interviewed Jonathan Majors on Monday for magazine Dreams and stuff. So yeah, I had to keep that a secret for a minute, but the movie coming out next Monday. So yeah.
Okay.
So
How
I'm
you
doing
doing?
good. I'm doing
That's
good.
good. Nice. How you doing, Keenan?
Awesome. I'm good. I'm trying to have a glass with Mama Quinn. I want a glass of wine with her.
Need a
Let's hang
glass of wine
out.
too. Yeah.
You're right. She's so fun. um, I am excited. I'm also excited for the end of this month because we get to go to CinemaCon. We are some news this isn't super related to DC Studios, but I saw this press release coming from CinemaCon. Glenn Powell, Josh Brolin, and Coleman Domingo, along with Edgar Wright, are going to be hosting like a roundtable luncheon on Thursday at CinemaCon. So I'm excited for that. That'll be
I'm
pretty
there.
dope.
I'm there. I'm meeting that nigga.
Oh yeah, free lunch and to get to like be in the same room as Coleman Domingo. I'm very excited about that. So there's lots of fun stuff that we're going to be able to see at CinemaCon. Obviously, Superman is going to be there on Tuesday, April 1st, and along with other Warner Brothers stuff. And Disney's going to be on Thursday, along with Amazon, Paramount. All the studios are going to be.
Sony's day one. I think Sony's the first one.
Sony, yeah, they're presenting. And they're like they have a cocktail party, and then the after party they're like sponsoring the whole first day, which is pretty big. But yeah, we'll see what we're going to see at CinemaCon. As far as DC news, James Gunn shared that he has apparently he's already seen Jason Momoa play Lobo, and so he's like loving what Jason's bringing to life. Basically, has always wanted Jason Momoa to play Lobo, so that is a real thing now. Jason Momoa is no longer Aquaman; he is going to be playing Lobo. What do you guys think about that overall? I don't know if we've ever talked about that on the podcast.
I think it's perfect casting. I mean, right off the page.
Mm-hmm.
He'll have a good time with it, so I'm sure it'll be fun.
I think the fact that he texted him the moment he was announced to be running, DC Studios, and this was before the Aquaman 2 came out.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like good throws everybody's speculation. He was ready to jump off the horse too, but now he gets to jump on a space bike and everything, so this time and everything. So he jumped from the seahorse to the space bike, but no, I'm happy for him again. I mean, he's a good actor, but I think also just a good presence, just in the universe and everything, but also utilizing his person, not trying to be somebody else. That's who he is,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where James Gunn, with all of his casting, even though too, like why his auditions are so crucial, because some of these characters, they know, like even though they're playing characters, like what is a person like Clark Kent, who he is in real life, this actor, what I mean? So who's Lois Lane and also, which that casting I was more excited at than the Superman casting. I think that's more textbook than anything else, but I'm happy to see this, and I'm looking forward to what we see and surprises in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
I will not be surprised if they show us at least stills from Supergirl, at least something.
I know. I'm hoping we get more than just like I'm hoping we get little sneak peeks of the other projects, which I assume we will, because they're kind of teasing it. Like we might end up seeing Lobo this year, which I'm very excited about. Another little bit of news.
I'll text you, Keenan, immediately. By the way, I'll text you immediately.
Oh yeah, the group chat.
I'll be sitting here like
I know.
Like, none of them. I gotta check.
Nicole Ari Parker has been casted as Lantern's or Jon Stewart's mother, Bernadette, in Lantern.
His mother.
Happening. I don't know who this person is. I've never watched anything with her in it.
Oh no, she's gorgeous, by the way. Yeah, she's in black cinema. She's known, right? and television too, and her husband. And so they playing, Jon Stewart's mother. Again, I think this is going to, we're seeing more of the backstory of Jon Stewart too, again, which is like, I'm happy to see this. Again, because I want this character to have its time and its justice, due and everything. So we're going to cover every aspect of this character. I'm wondering, if they're going to even highlight the police interaction he has and Hal watching him, basically standing up, against the police officers. I don't know. I don't know how far they're gonna go with that, but that's in the comics. There. But yeah, I'm happy to see this. At least, like, again, you having talent attached to this project, So, yeah. Oh, what happened to my computer? Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah.
What just happened? My computer. Oh, okay. I didn't leave, right?
No, you're still in here.
Still in here.
Okay, you can still hear me. Okay, it's fine. All right. No, it was just the Snyder folks. They were trying to stop me.
Oh,
yeah. Not today,
yeah,
Satan.
I think it's interesting that they casted his mother, because in the comics, a recent storyline had him recreate like a construct of his mother's daughter, his little sister. So I'm wondering if there's like if they're gonna pick up some of that storyline, like her grieving the loss of like her child. I don't know. I'm curious about why they casting family members, and like what's the how deep is that story going? So that's interesting. You got any thoughts, Keaton?
I'm just sitting here. Okay, so not only is she gorgeous, but like I'm just like the ages are so close. I don't feel like she looks like she could be his mom. Like maybe it's a flashback scene. I'm sitting. That's me
flashback.
Over here like
flashback.
Yeah, it's fair.
So maybe it's a flashback.
I hope they don't Barry Allen this stuff,
Yeah, so that is fun. Hopefully we'll get more casting out of that soon, and then get some like a clip or something. That would be dope. I mean, I assume maybe like Lanterns will have a presence at Comic-Con. So we'll see. A third bit of news is not really studios related, but it is pretty big. Marvel and DC Comics are crossing over again in the Amalgam Comics universe, which is they have crossed over before in the 90s. In the Amalgam universe, where there's Marvel versus DC universe. So I think this is fun. If you're into comics and you like both of them, this will be fun for you to get into. I also think it's interesting timing, because Superman and Fantastic Four are coming out within a week of each other. So it's kind of like an interesting mashup between two, and people are already kind of like super fantastic, like kind of like Barbenheimer, like trying to like make that a thing. So we'll see if that does become a thing. This is Warner Brothers, a studio that did one of the best marketing campaigns I've seen in a long time for Barbie. So if they can put that power behind Superman, that'd be great. And then we won't have to worry about competing with Fantastic Four. But Marvel and DC seem to be, in on the comic side, seem to be, holding hands again. So that's fun for everyone. Yeah. Anyway, any thoughts on that?
It'd be interesting to see like how they're going to amalgam like newer characters. Because back then, you remember this was back like in the 80s or 90s or so. Like when it originally happened, and some of these, so like some of these new characters that they can cross over, like Miss Marvel or something. I don't know. Listen, there was always this unspoken connection between Miles Morales and Static Shock, and there's always been a weird connection with those characters. I think that'd be kind of interesting, but I think with the possibilities now that we're kind of post New 52, post Marvel now and all that stuff, like there's opportunity where they can do some interesting stuff here. But I mean, who knows?
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's get started on this episode, the penultimate episode of Harley Quinn season 5, episode 9, bottle episode. So we are here. We finally bottled the city. Lena bottled the city, and the city has collapsed into chaos. One of the funniest things I think in the entire season is the bottle deniers protesting like that. There is no glass. We won't submit to the glass. There is no bottle, which is fucking hilarious because it reminds me of a COVID denier. I'm like, this is so funny. It was so sharply, like the show, while it does sometimes bog down in like dumb assery, there is some really clever, sharp commentary, sharp social commentary that this show
Yes.
does that I'm always gonna love. And that right there, it was similar to Don't Look Up, that movie that came out where they were like,
Yes.
there's music
Yes.
happening.
Perfect.
Reminded me
Yes.
of that. Very, very well done. I love that. That was my favorite part of the episode. What did you guys think about the episode overall? What were your favorite parts, least favorite parts? We can get and dive into like the backstory of the Luthers and stuff. But what were you guys' favorite parts? What did you think?
Well, I think to finally see a brother sister interaction with Lex and Lena, and given some context, whether it, I mean, we thought she was, found out she was joking, but then really he went a little bit deeper. It wasn't just a simple like, oh, Martha equivalent, thing of calming somebody down. It's like, oh no, here's a train because we used to play. You want to play with my toys, but then they dive deeper into that, which actually made sense. Like it'd be interesting if they added, Lionel Luther. I mean, they mentioned, reference to their dad, but I'm just a Smallville fan to me. I always like that interaction with them, but I think again, it's showing that some of the worst people, in society, or narcissists, whatever, just comes from a place of childhood trauma. 9 times out of 10, but some of it's also with siblings. Like I'm only child, but I know like when I have kids and stuff, I multiple. I just will like be mindful of noticing, that type of stuff that will probably, no, God forbid it, but like, cause like ripping relationships for years, between siblings that gets unchecked, because like, and then finds insecurity on both parts. She wanted to play with his toys, and then she wanted to play with his toys, and he's like, well, everybody liked you, and you had hair, you know, you know,
What about you?
I think for me, I liked a little bit of, so like you have, like as you mentioned, the bottle deniers. There's also a pointed line where Lois says that's what happens when you get rid of quality journalism, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
that felt
quoted that.
perfect
pointed.
line. I love that line.
That felt super
Very
pointed. I feel like there was a lot of that, and also like the fact that Joker was kind of the audience in this episode, even down to the point where he's like, call Superman.
I know.
And so I was just like, all of his background quits. I was like, at some point, I just wrote, Joker is all of us today.
He really was. He also did he was doing something that I was a little sus about. He was like getting people's signatures, and I was like, what is he getting people's signatures for? And they focused on
set
that.
up for the next season.
I know, like, what is happening? I was like, this is not okay. Why are you giving a known criminal your signature? Like, it was crazy to me. Like, I know things were chaotic, so people just weren't thinking, but I was like, that was so sus to me, and I made a note of that because I was like, I want to see when we come back to this. But yeah, I think that Mike's point about Lex and Lena, and he'll be back in a second. Lex and Lena's like sibling rivalry, it really was so interesting how they tied it back to the their adult lives. Like he said, he's a little boy that lost his hair really young, so like of course he's going to be an asshole adult. But also when he saw Lena playing with his stuff, and she broke the thing, and like she was like, I just wanted to play with Metropolis, and he's like, it's my Metropolis, which is such a parallel to like their later like it's so interesting, like, because that's exactly why she did it. That's why she did it. We were like, why is Lena doing this? This is why she did it, because she wanted to play with Metropolis. She wanted to play with Lex's toys, and I think that's like, I think that's so interesting to me, and it makes the whole season in retrospect more interesting. And I wish I had focused more on Lena and with that in mind, because she's very popular, and I was just talking to him about a quote that I liked, like that I said when Lena was playing, she's like, I just want to play with Metropolis, and Lex said, it's my Metropolis. And I thought that's like basically their adult lives, and like how that Lena, we know who Lena is now. We know them, and we know why the motivation is very clear. Because before you're like, she just wants to. Now we get it. I get it now. She's a megalomaniac, but it's because of her insecurities that her brother has bestowed upon her. So I thought that was a really good storyline, a really good it was short, but I really appreciate them like kind of going in depth into the Luthers and Lex obviously having insecurities about his hair. It's not just they play it for jokes, but it's also like a deep insecurity in him. And there's a couple of those moments where they like talk about like some male insecurity, like Lex is balding or being bald at a young age, and Bruce's eating disorder. Like that was some serious shit. Like, and like Lois said that later on in the episode. She was like, men can have eating disorders, and he promptly made her editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet. He's like, whatever, anyway. But yeah. I thought that was interesting. What do you guys think as men about like those kind of those male inferiority, male insecurities that they kind of brought up? Because they've talked about Bruce's not his eating habits throughout the season. It's not the first time they talked about it. Yes. What do you guys think?
As someone who had an eating disorder, like I always love when that stuff is kind of brought to the forefront and not played for laughs, but like, no, this is a thing that guys go through.
Yeah.
I think it also, again, it highlights, not saying insecurity, but it's also like what in a child, especially in a young man's, like his insecurity breeds into something that he's so like laser focused on, or a character flaw, or trait, where some people call people pleasing, whatever. Like it might be like for me, like I was like I said, I was born with very like severe eczema, right? But as a kid, but then I don't know, my personality, I'd make people laugh, and not that I was a comedian or anything. I just I just like find like the lightheartedness and things and stuff like that. So that where people focus away from seeing me that that I had really bad eczema. So it was like, but now my eczema's healed and everything, but I still have that trait, and it just now it's just like second nature. But I didn't know like till like years later where like it contributed from, because again and as a kid you're just trying to get people to like you, and stuff like that. But as an adult, in the negative aspects, in case for Lex, is that his was attribute for power. Because even then, which I even hope that James even taps into this with this Lex of like again his own insecurity, not the whole God and man complex that we had previously. I'm talking about like just a personal power insecurity of that if he had power for his whole life for craving it, but yet here this person comes in and stuff like that, right? That's the whole point of Lex Luthor and Superman's like relationship. But now seeing that with his own sister, again, it just reminded me of Smallville, and I like that that they didn't they shy away from it. I mean, still in Harley Quinn fashion, make jokes about it, but the eating disorder, like they say a lot of realistic stuff in comedy, which I do too. So which is why it's relatable. And I think that's the way where you're speaking truth in lightheartedness and comedy. That's not just blatant, but it's actually, oh yeah, like you're laughing, but then you're joking about eating disorder you have or something. It's not really making light of the situation, but just more bringing awareness in a way and seeping it in the dialogue with the characters. And that which is realistic. So yeah,
I think that's a good point. Like comedy and tragedy, there's a reason why they're like two sides of the same coin. That's why they're always paired together, because like I think like we all recognize that the majority of like Black Americans tend to be funny, or like tend to crack jokes or are lighthearted.
Performers.
Yeah. Because we have a collective trauma and generational trauma that we're always like I can. It's just a natural thing to always be able to just crack a joke when you're uncomfortable or when you're. So I think that is something I like about the show, is that they can make jokes about serious shit, and not in a way that's I don't think I've ever been like, why would they say it like that? Like they've always in a way that is very
right.
Oh, I didn't expect it, but it's always in a smart way that is not it wouldn't offend someone that's going through that. Like I thought that was a really sweet moment between Lois and Bruce. Like I wasn't expecting that, and I thought it was really sweet that they pointed that out, because homie's got a problem with the eating situation. But I thought that was sweet, and I thought that I like that part of the episode. The parts I didn't like, I don't like Lex. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure I'm looking at the right thing. Wait, yes,
Which one?
I don't like Lex in the Batcave. I hated this. I hate why? Why? I hate this so much.
Like we were talking good, and I was like, wait, hold up now. I mean, don't let me give me the mic. This episode ain't over.
I know. There was some good parts, and there was some stuff I just didn't like. I did not like that. What were some stuff that you guys didn't like? I didn't like that part.
It's a DC fan in me. Like there's things I like that you deviate. You know,
Yeah.
and again, I keep going back to James because again, I'm just amped for 2 weeks. But anyway, I'm just like he does a great job with dialogue and bringing comic related world elements and characters, but yet putting a realistic and human factor to them. Then even like I'm using an example of Guardians, but like you're showing it's still tied to the comics, but it's like, oh, here's a traumatic, realistic way humans interact here, and I'm gonna put this on a raccoon, but it made us empathize with those characters. But with here, unlike with him, he does not disrespect comic. I don't want to say comic accuracy. It's not like this is not the accurate hairstyle and comic suit, and all that stuff. I'm not saying that, but in this case, motherfuckers should not be in the Batcave. Fuck that. No, come on. The big no.
I know.
Like seriously, I thought the the Red X episode didn't piss me off more, but, and then it's like, oh, you just have, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put this motherfucker in the Batcave, and y'all just gonna take it.
I know. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I want this episode to be over. I was so annoyed. I was so annoyed. Anyway, what did you think? Was there anything you didn't like, Keenan, about the episode? I know you're usually pretty positive.
Well, okay, so this is the thing that I wrote down. I was like, why does Ivy keep going into space without seeds in her pockets? Like, it was really starting to piss me off. When the leaf light broke off Frank's head, I was like, finally. Because it's like they nerfed her this season, and it was so frustrating. I was like, that's like, if she's about to roll out, like, get some seeds, girl. Like,
I know. They did that in the beginning. They
did that before.
This is their second time in space without, like, the first time I get it, but this is like the third time. So there were 2 other times that she should have been up there with seeds in her pockets.
I know. I was like so frustrated that like someone even had to point it out that there was leaf. Like, you should sense that these are you're attached to the green. All things that are green you should sense where they are. The writing for Ivy has been a little bit not my favorite. It's been uneven. Yes, it's been up and down, and I don't. It was very strange. But anyway. Wait.
Yeah, don't do this. Like, come on. Like, it's like this is a part where I'm like, anyway, well, not to go ahead myself or anything, but just like they're just fine lines. Just like, come on, just I want to say common sense with comic characters. It's like it just you gotta make a book. Was it you did the whole Marvel comics for dummies, do DC comics for dummies or something. Like, hey, this is what you don't do. Don't let this motherfucker come in the Batcave. Don't do that. Hey, Robins, don't fuck with that.
Oh my god, the Robin thing.
I can still smell the suit.
The suit, ew, that was ridiculous. Why?
Oh, that was rude.
Anyway, that we do get a bit of a Superman tease with like Joker basically being like, call him. She's like, I don't want to call him because I don't want to like, no, girl, it's the end of the world. Please call your man. And then it doesn't work because they're literally in a bottle, and then the bat thing blocked out the signals. There's a lot of technical things. I was like, I don't know what the hell's going on. And then by the end, she has to send him a Morse code thing because apparently they've done Morse code sexting, which is hilarious.
So many extra steps.
Which is so great. And also reminds me of like the comics, Lois and Clark, because like she kept his like War World like Speedo and like chains and like in a closet or whatever. Like they have like they're like Lois and Clark are pretty kinky in the comics, so I love that they're like kind of like sharing that a little bit in the show. It's so cute. But yeah, she sends him a message saying, "I need you" in Morse code, and we see that it shows up in like in space, and that's it. So yeah.
I
I need you,
like I
Clark.
like right. I like that. I mean, it was like, like it, but then it's like we'll get yeah. It's just like there's a comment that's made in an episode. And I won't say it, but it's just like it kind of just throws all this like bullshit, out the window. And I'm just like, why did you make her say that?
I
Matthew,
know.
like like I fuck
was,
you.
Listen,
It's like, no, it's like you reminded me of an ex-girlfriend. I did it. Why she's an ex for a reason. Like, complain about shit, and then when you get it, you're like, oh, like fuck you. You don't deserve my love.
Oh my god, Mike is going through it.
Oh no, I'm married now, happily. I'm saying this. I'm explaining.
No, I know. I meant like about the episode.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, watching this, it just as a person, like this show is one of the strengths is talking about relationships, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, and then I'm like, okay, after all this episode, the dude goes on a freaking sabbatical, and I'm like, use Lois Lane, like use the women and characters, and not just as like love interest. It's like it just, but like as a healthy love interest in a way that that brings the character back. So like when we know this person will come back, it's like, yeah, it's so rewarding, and yet it can be cliche, but it's like that's what we want because you earned it, because you earned it,
I know. Anyway, before we spoil the next episode, we're gonna I think any last thoughts on this episode, the penultimate episode? Yeah. All right, y'all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dash.
The Luthers, they team up, I think, right? It's like, hey, we're, I guess we're brother and sister duo now. I guess we'll heal. Right. Yeah. The Luthers are bitch asses. They always have been and always will be. But anyway.
Yeah. But
their plan was for Lex to have a plan, and
and
Lex is going to do Lex at all times.
Harley's plan was shit, as per usual, because that should not have been the plan. But it worked out in the end, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. It did not work out. That's not a spoiler. Anyway, before sorry, go ahead.
There was one line, and I don't want to get because that actually was a deep moment. I don't know who said it, but someone was saying I was trying to make this perfect. And then Brainiac responded like, "Oh, that's what I was trying to do."
Oh, right? Yes. Hold on. Was that might have been that? I think that was in the next episode.
No. It was this episode.
When he was she lying down?
I think he was lying down.
He was lying down.
But then it cut off.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah. He's like, that's what I was trying to do. You're right. Yeah. That was Oh, brain.
Yeah, I was like, why someone striving for perfection, but for all the wrong reasons. But like it's, it's blind devotion, and stuff in the way. But yeah.
And who hasn't strived for perfection and gotten lost along the way?
Yeah. So many of us.
Yeah. Before we go, where can our listeners find y'all, Keenan?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok and Blue Sky at Keeks on Camera. And you can look up the Rewind podcast on all those things. We have so many clips going up with so many fun, hilarious moments. So check it out.
And where can our listeners find you, Mike?
You can find me in Vegas in 2 weeks with the glass of Prosecco. And with some loved ones, and just having a good time, and and working, but having a good time. But you also find me on YouTube at Jedi Mike 7, brought to you by Solo Media. Got other videos, clearing up Invincible review this week, and season 3, and we're also continuing on Daredevil Born Again. Also got interviews I did with Prime Video. with shows with House of David, and got interview with Jonathan Majors for Magazine Dreams coming out next week. So that'll be coming there. So yeah, you can look out for that. I got stuff coming. Yeah,
nice. You can find me at Vanessa Shark on Instagram, Blue Sky, at vanessashark.com, which I periodically update. And you can find all my reviews, the things of that nature on multiverseofcolor.com. We'll also be at CinemaCon with Mike and Gotham Geek Girl. And who else?
we love you, Nadia. We love you.
Yes, Team JBS, KR Presents. Who else? Big Gold Belt. There's gonna be a lot of people that like the whole crew.
The whole crew. It's gonna be the crew. Oh, sorry, I'm so jealous.
I know. I wish you were coming, Keaton.
Yeah, Coleman Domingo, everybody.
Yeah, oh, I know. We're gonna be this. I hope he looks. Oh my god, I can't wait to see what he wears at the CinemaCon.
At the awards. Yeah, right.
I know the achievement awards.
Listen, I'm a straight man, and I'm saying you like I want to steal that dude's style. Like, I mean, it's just like
because he has the impeccable style.
Well, yeah, but he has a proper like decorum and etiquette he keeps for himself.
It's and it's like that.
Yes.
Clean. He also makes it exciting to see men on the red carpet because a lot of men just wear the basic suit. That's just like, it's just why masculinity is such a cage sometimes. But like Coleman does it in such a beautiful, like everything is so good. Like it
brings it every fucking time.
Every time. Hair on point, facial hair on point, accessories on point. That man knows how to dress. I cannot wait. Oh my god.
I just want you to send me a constant stream of photos of Coleman.
I'll be on the red carpet. I'm doing the photography again this year.
Good. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say I'm trying to get KR to. KR is like, what's going on? I'm like,
I got you. I got y'all.
Okay, yeah.
I'm taking the charge in a lot of situations.
Yeah, I was like, Mike is just like, I got it. I'm like, that's.
I got it, y'all.
Yes, I got it. Yes.
All right, y'all. Until next time for the finale of the Harley Quinn podcast, season 5. We'll see you next time, y'all. Bye.